Cato's Dan Mitchell on that first off. A sign of thawing or the inevitable, all right, I'll back him, what?
I assume he's just recognizing reality. And if you're a Republican, for better or worse, Donald Trump is your nominee. And fingers crossed, you're probably thinking, let's hope that he's trustworthy and can win in November.
All right. Now, it comes at a time where I think a lot of Republicans, those who are moving over to Donald Trump, even those who are doing so grudgingly, they look at the alternative, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. They say, well, it could be worse. And then they look and listen to the White House. And I think there's a knee-jerk reaction to rally around your own guy, even if you have reservations. And that is the president using a graduation ceremony at Rutgers to blast Donald Trump without once naming him. I thought it was tacky. I'd say the same if a Republican tried to pull a stunt like that. At a graduation, seeing as I knew parents whose son was graduating and they were in the audience, they found it offensive, even though they were excited that the president was coming to the graduation. What do you think?
I suspect that it's just politics as usual. I mean, when you have a commencement speaker, your number one thought in the audience is, let's hope that it's not a one-hour speech and we can get out of this quickly.
Yeah.
But it brings to mind just the whole frustration that a lot of people have with this political season. The best argument for Hillary Clinton is Donald Trump. The best argument for Donald Trump is Hillary Clinton. I mean, we've never had two major party candidates with such high negative ratings, certainly in our lifetimes and probably in all of our history.
But you know what amazed me about the speech, besides the fact that he was all but saying that Donald Trump was an ignoramus, and, you know, you just can't pull policies out of thin air. He also mentioned how much experience counts, knowing the world counts. Well, by that definition, 8 years ago then, Senator Barack Obama, who hadn't been in office very long, had virtually no background experience to prepare him for leading the free world. So wasn't that a bit hypocritical?
It was hypocritical, but again, that's just what politicians do. I don't care whether you have 1 year experience or whether you have 40 years experience. If you're doing the wrong policies, which is by and large what Obama's done, well, that explains why we have the worst recovery since the Great Depression, why labor force participation numbers are in the toilet. I mean, it's big government is having bad consequences here, and Obama simply wants to make it bigger, as does Hillary, and for all I know, maybe Trump does as well. We have no idea. He's sort of a blank slate.
But, you know, this obsession with Trump on the part of the administration interests me. Maybe I'm the only one who's looking at it to the degree I am. Now, I understand part of that is his concern that this would totally upend his policies if Donald Trump got in there, and Hillary Clinton, if she were the nominee, would continue what would presumably be a third-term Barack Obama-like. But it goes to more than that, I think. I just can't put a finger on it here, but his ascent has startled the political establishment, but I think it's mostly startled Barack Obama.
If nothing else, I think Trump represents the fact that the American people dislike intensely what's happening in Washington. Now, in part, that's an indictment on Obama, perhaps for the economic reasons we just discussed, but it's probably also an indictment on the congressional Republicans who, for the most part, have gone along to get along with Obama instead of fighting a lot of his initiatives. And the American people are sick and tired of it. They're very concerned about the economic future. There's a sense of unease that we might be drifting into becoming more like Greece. And they want something being done. And so Donald Trump is a grenade. And the voters have thrown a grenade into the political world. And, you know, maybe it'll blow up on ourselves. Maybe it'll blow up on the other team, whoever the other team happens to be. But if you're Obama, the fact that Trump got the nomination probably doesn't reflect well on what you've done for the country.
All right, Dan Mitchell, the Cato Institute Senior Fellow. Good seeing you again.